It all starts with the first Zootopia of events. Thanks to the same events, the first rabbit policeman and the first fox policeman are born. Of course, the words of Judy Nick about the courage left the whole paddle in a desperate blow. After a short pause, we see Judy Nick as the best Zootopia agent preparing for a new day. And the head of the pack said that the deer was a stockbroker who smuggled foreign stowaways and used reptilians in illegal operations. Judy had no idea what Nick was talking about when they were separated. They are sure that they will not be able to solve such an important case. Benjamin, Clow Hauser, the rabbit and the fox had left, and they had decided to do it on their own. Judy Nick was running a scheme to smuggle out of the house. A cunning plan, and they had Judy Nick on the day she was expelled from the zoo and signed it after the inspector. "I don't know," he said. In the middle of the opera, Judy discovers what is hidden inside the containers. The inspector turned to face the police. When additional agents arrived, Judy found Nick's plan. They were talking about the duo, but Judy didn't seem to mind Nick. They know that no one will believe it. As a result, the remains are caused by a big mistake. For this, Boku scolded Judy very much. Thanks to the feats performed by the tinker. But now it's all over. There are no reptilians. There are no alamis. If he does not strictly follow the rules, he will immediately know them. After that, we see them at shub therapy in the police. Dr. Fuzzby wanted the reptilian to follow them. Judy tells them they've been working for a week or so. The therapist says this is the problem itself. A good distribution requires constant patience and daily teamwork. It can stretch from several years. Later, Judy tells Nick that she should go to Bog and tell Veda that she is doing everything right. But the Turk is the smartest person, the one who thinks to stay silent and not be distracted by the Bagugu. Judy then nodded. I asked him if he thought we were a really good team. Judy had no doubt. Obviously, we are a good team. Now they say that we need to prove it. With the same confidence, he gives her a small booklet about the partnership. Nick went to his room and put down his dictaphone. Judy went to the house and talked to her grandfather. Nick film added and hid the book. Judy stops talking to her grandfather and begins to read the booklet carefully. But he knew the inspector's eyes when he heard the news. At the same moment, he saw the story of Langsley Davy. Curious, Judy begins to dig through the internet and finds a cozy old director in the newspaper. One snake tried to swallow it. In another, there is a story about the murder of a tapeworm. After that incident, no snakes were seen. I don't know, I said. For a moment, we see Nick sitting there, staring at the film about the current mayor Brian Vandenser. Then Judy gave him a hug and told him to be happy to find her. After a while, he persuades NEC to investigate the case together. After that, we proceed to the solemn Linksley universe. A high-level party full of different animals. Even Mayor Vanedancer, who had come to the road, had come to the Sakna. Judy and NEC are still in work uniform. Sitting on the back in their small cars, they analyze the situation. When they reach the parking lot, they notice several cars similar to the inspector's. Judy felt his hand on her arm. So the reptile was on the side. Determined to continue their journey, Judy decided that they should go to town. After all, Linksley was there, and he had brought a suit for NEC. I don't know, I said. The two of them bowed and gave each other compliments, confidently pulling them inside. I don't know, he said. Judy Schenk was naked. And NEC finds a plan to sneak through the fall. When she reached the end, Judy saw that the Gazette was made of metal. At the same moment, Nick warns him. Here in Bulgaria, Judy was hiding, and Kizi Sok was one of them. He thought he was Pooh Bird Linksley. The two of them immediately get along and communicate. I don't know, I said. During the ceremony, a large veil suddenly descends from the ceiling, from under which a giant snake emerges. Panic begins. Snake pulls the newspaperman over, pointing to Mail Ton, a reporter from Linksley. Judy followed. The false snake tells him that he is not evil, he wants to prove the truth and return the abur of his kind. But it was at this moment that Neck came to his senses and dipped it into the pan. Young, Pow returns with a newspaper. His father feeds Judy and Neck so that they launch a snake attack. Judy does not bury in lies. He persuades NEC to protect the snake. The two escape through a fire with smoke. "I'm sorry," he said. But the frightened snake will bite him carelessly. Lang's Liler took advantage of this incident to attack the snake general. And Judy and Neck spread the word that he was on her side. They remain united, and many believe that they are together with the Coptic reptilians. Mr. Beck, who has no one to run away from, will be the blacksmith. He threw them into the truck with the help of the beast guards. At the same time, Mila Langs was holding Lee Mer Kazeti is threatened with the loss of Mar Ord, not to get rid of Kaidarm, Koyol and Fox. And Judy and Nex had been driven by Mr. Beck's stallion, the master of fashion. There, Foo, the winter of Mr. Beck and Judy Dunn, greeted them warmly. Mr. Beck introduced his grandson and told him that he was ready to help Judy because of what he had once done for her. But he told Langs that Lily's embrace was great, and that he could not stand alone. Judy answers with confidence. They were supposed to protect Zveropolis. Therefore, it is necessary to read Cosette and reveal in reality. Tu Fu says that Cosette can only read reptilian Aga. Because it is the reverse of ancient memory. Fortunately, he knew that he could help. He takes them to Nibbles Mayable's tech. Fast-talking Kunduz. He could find the reptilians. Nibbles guides them along with his friend. The lizard knew the reptilian world well. To get to it, you need to cross the lake. For this, Bop is called. It was like a boat. After crossing the dark corridor, they reach the reptilian impressionist Jesus. He meets them at Sultana Tutor and puts a plate of worms in front of him. They say they don't talk until they see the sevens. Zudman Neck eats helplessly and swallows Zorga. In Salges, Jesus comes and says that it was a census. He knew that the metal cover of the Gazette belonged to the category of the most ancient, and only he could read it, which he had written in a cry. There is something very important in the Gazette. Even a ribbon of blood ran down his face, protecting him. The reptilians had hated injustice for generations because of it. At this time, the police caught up with them and found a hidden place in Tavid. The reptilians fell into the binoculars and squealed. Jesus was quick to react, and Jude and Neck followed. It was at this moment that the snake came back and said that it was necessary to save the win. Judy looked up at the red-rimmed tunnel. "I don't know," he said. In the water-filled casket, Judy lacks air. "I'm sorry," he said. The two of them are in a ball and the mark is on the ground. There the TAV goats are watching them in amazement. The abetsiers squealed from their mouths. Each one belonged to a snake. There was a small house surrounded by ashes. They asked for a house on the top of the mountain, surrounded by serpents called Kanai Mung. They are good luck, they are sarcastic. Continuing the way, Judy and Nick climbed the cliff with Archon. Halfway through, they fought. Nick turned on the carrot recorder and told Judy that he had called himself the White Rabbit. "I'm sorry," he said. In a fight, the voice recorder falls into their hands, falls short and hits a stone. The opening is a piece of home chest. Judy stared at the top of the hill. And Nick, even though he was a Rinji, was still far away from him. Below, the officers find a sounding recorder and realize that they have climbed the mountain. Judy reaches for a seat on the shelf in her bag and starts flipping through old hugs and cards. "I'm sorry," he said. The Lensleys put the animals out of their homes and took away their land. So they created an empire. It turned out that Zveropolis originally belonged to reptiles. This is a secret that the lilacs have been hiding for years. Why did you come to the police? They just don't arrest. They say you can kill to hide everything. Why don't you sacrifice your life for the sake of your ideal and say that it doesn't change anything? Judy rebelled, saying that if we don't do the right thing, there won't be a better world. Now I understand everything, they say. What if being a hero doesn't change the world? The world will remain there in the owl, they say. Judy's heart is broken, and maybe we can be different. At the same moment, the police grab and tear them apart. The snake appears and shoots Judy. Robert's Linksliad says they were arrested there. Linksley said that he was going to have to go to the dark cell and watch Judy die. That's when a bag with the fur of the man who helped Linksliad's daughter Rabbit arrives. His father recognized him immediately. Pow nodded. Pow Bert was hiding behind Judy and the snake. There he says the name for the snake. The Viper. Pow Bert nodded. Cosette could only read the snake in the therma, because he needed warmth to follow him. Judy, why did Grandpa Pow Bert hide the snake in the barn? Pow Bert looked at the history. Cosette had never been a lynxlider. The Zootopia was made by reptilians who did not freeze. She is Geary's grandmother. He dreamed of building a city that would allow each animal to live in its own environment. But Pow Bert's grandfather realized the value of the plan and stole it from him. He had killed a man who had fallen asleep in order to hide it, and he had put the blame on Geary's grandmother. It was a snake, and no one had ever buried it. Since then, reptilians have moved away from Zootopia. The old reptilians had been buried in the blackness of the area for a long time, believing that the truth would not be revealed. But he was wrong. The original patent has survived. Geary's grandmother hid it in her house. If Geary found the same house, he'd be dead. In this way, the history that Lynx has hidden for generations is revealed. The land sought is alien to the property of Pow Bert's grandfather. But he forgot to carry the phone with him, and his father found out about his den. And in the dark cell, Judy and I had a hard time fighting. Suddenly, Kunduz Nebels came up and released him. With the wrong action, all prisoners are also released. Neck immediately turns to the bar in Zootopia, the fastest soul. Ironically, the Flash turned. Iku gets into the car and rushes to get to Judy. In Salges Lake, Koi, Dawn, Bill Feeder and Menzie resumed their plan. And Judy ran away from the new allies and the police and went through the middle of a festival full of soul bars. Clow Hauser, the lucky road leopard, would show Judy to Kunduz. Milton Linksley, having learned that Judy and her group are searching the grandmother's house of Garrity, is angry and orders the officers to put them to sleep. But the bullet made a mistake and flew towards the Coburg. Judy stands in front of him, protecting him. At the same moment, the Flash arrives in the car, and Nibless and Niji Kivu save them. Everyone heads towards the climate walls. If they were in the house, they would reveal the whole truth and expose the copy of the Linksleys. Nay stays in gray and runs away from the police, and Nibless grabs him for the last 3 moments. And now they are going to patent Zevjete. The most serious betrayal will take place. Coburg was loyal to his family. He had been a 10-year-old boy, and he thought he was like the lynx. He had something in common with Judah EQ, too. They had been excluded from the Ikata's society, and they had no intention of proving that they had landed. It's a good thing he's glowing. If he burned the patent, the family would be taken over by his game. As Judy falls from him, Coburg slams into the beaver and runs into it. Jerry shook his head. One animal does not protect the city. It was my grandmother's dream. Zootopia should belong to everyone. They say that each stand is a city that supports each other. He begs not to lose faith. Jerry approached Jude and wrapped her in warmth. His body begins to recover, but is still weakened. It was then that Coburg took Jerry's arm and took Andatot. The police arrive and see Judy in a daze and die, claiming that the snake has killed her. Jerry, having gathered his strength, went through the marriage chamber. The antitot in the bag throws the bag exactly as if the marriage is tired, gaining strength and throwing the bag. Thanks to this, Judy is saved in the dirges, where he settles and returns to life. Where is the fire in your heart, Judy, where is the battle? Where is the fire in your heart, Judy, where is the battle? Where is the fire in your heart, Judy, where is the battle? Where is the fire in your heart, Judy, where is the battle? Where is the fire in your heart, Judy, where is the battle? Where is the fire in your heart, Judy, where is the battle?